Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back, Clumsy Trucking time, finally. I have been waiting for this day to hang out with you guys and just truck and chill and wind down the week. How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining me. Can you hear me well? Should be, I think. We'll see. So who do we have? See a couple of familiar names, some new ones. Thanks for joining, guys. In terms of chatting, OM was technically first, followed very, very closely by Scotsman. So close. Hey Patrick, how are you? Glad you made it today again. Thanks. And I see OM. Hope you are feeling better. But Tom was actually here since 7:40. Wow. Now that's an early bird. Hey Alex. What have you been spending your time on now that you've maxed out SnowRunner? Or have you? Level 30? Hey Art. Thanks for joining. Hey Jay, good morning. Early bird, how's your connection now? Not any more twitching for you? Twitch changed the layout. I actually haven't noticed that. I think on my end, not yet. I haven't seen that timer thing yet. So maybe it is being rolled out in stages. Or maybe I just didn't notice. Hey Gamaste. Glad you're here, man. Welcome back, Ayad. Thanks for joining. How are the home classes working out? Hey Ninja Squirrel. Hey Cold. AV 10 out of 10. Thanks guys. Shoulder injury. Hope you're doing better now. Yikes. Still running in the snow. What snow? AD. Welcome. Cousin's house. And Rohan is early? What is happening to the world? Usually he would join in like 2 hours from now at the earliest. 75 has arrived. Mr. PS5. Or maybe not. Too Hot PC has arrived. Oh no. Mr. Everfirst, aka Mr. Amsterdam, aka Too Hot to Handle. So many nicknames now for you. Let's go and check out the mods for today, guys. Let me hide my face and chat so we can take a better look at the mods list. Very busy with school. So for today, we have an updated background map. I'll share a bit more on that. Actually, I haven't taken a close look at this yet, but this is now 1.4. I think what this changes mostly is the UK part, but the Middle East remains as is, because I think Bengan had it right all along. So we'll go through that later and see if we missed any of those points, because there have been a couple of updates again. I then again enabled Sipinho's real traffic density for more cars on the road. I'm not sure if my frame rate can handle it, so if it gets a bit framey, we'll get rid of it. But it does add and make for a better, not really better, but more realistic driving experience. Because sometimes traffic is not really relaxing, but it is realistic. We are driving with the Actros today. Different Actros than the ones you've seen in the previous videos this week though. But we are going with EVR. EVR sounds with Alexandru Andre's MP4 is what we're going with today. I had to remove the one from Schumi because they are both changing the default Actros, so you can only have one that is reliable. And I like this mainly because it's compatible with a tandem setup, right? So we have that over somewhere here below the maps, I think. That one here. And this requires the Chronomega liner. So I have that as well. Chronomega liner and all the skins. And everything else I think remains the same. If you have more questions on the mods, let me know. But let's load it up first because you never know when the GPS would want to just recalculate out of nowhere. And let me now get back to chat. Hey MMJ, welcome back man, no problem. Enjoy the lurk. You're in Melbourne. It's darn cold. What is it? Is it winter right now? How cold is it? Playing more ETS2 with the Scania R, nice. There you go. Thanks for the exclamation mods. Right on point as usual. Thanks, Alex. Sorry about that, Tom. I think Jay is trying to limit that kind of topic. It's getting a bit controversial. Yeah. Hey, Nick. Welcome back, man. How have you been? There's the truck. Electric blue today. Are we continuing the journey from Iceland? In a way. Technically, it's a different trip, but in a way we are. Because it's actually like a planted question. That's perfect. Because we started in Iceland, right? And we had to stop somewhere in Belgium. I can't remember exactly where. And a lot of updates happened since then, so the game reset. So I am in Brussels though, so we'll continue from here and we'll find the job that takes us to the southern region. But this is the updated map now. Not sure if it's perfect. Is it? That seems to be offset, isn't it? Spain is in the trenches. Or is that right? It seems not perfect. And yeah, of course the Middle East is still floating on the sea. But yeah, the projection I think is correct. It's correct for southern region, for Ukraine. But there's still the inconsistency between Bengan's version and the SCS/ProMods version. SCS ProMods have more or less the same. Bengan has a different one, but I think Bengan has the right one because that's what SCS prescribed. It's just that SCS themselves didn't or haven't followed that prescription themselves yet. So I think Bengan's background is more accurate. Alright, let's go with that. So we can find a job. It is winter. Wow. It still seems strange to me. I'm not familiar. I'm not used to the southern hemisphere seasons. When you hear winter in June, it just sounds wrong. Of course it's not. Rigid chassis. Yes, here we are. Thanks to Alexandru. Oh, I always mix his name. AA. Call him AA. You can be flying down the autobahn while listening to the teacher. Perfect. And no one would ever be the wiser. Hey Nick, thanks for 9 months. Sorry it's been a while. You stream too late for me most times. Yeah. Thank you for still subbing though. That's amazing, man. Appreciate it. It looks broken a bit. Yeah, it's not perfect. So AA is actually recreating the entire mod, but he released a 1.37 like compatibility patch in the meantime. And so you can see, later you'll see that better, they're actually missing textures. Like the curtains inside the cab, you can see they're like red. That's actually missing textures. And then here, like the pipe here on the side of the truck, that's black. It doesn't look that nice. So it's not perfect. And I actually haven't driven it yet, so I'm not sure if they're like collisions. But if ever it's weird, we'll go back to Schumi's. But nevertheless, we go with EVR sounds right here. Summer is over. Summer is over. Hasn't summer just begun? Images of the lag and gridlock traffic. True. There we go. Am I able to give you my Twitch points? You can cheer. You can... I'm not sure how you cheer in there. There should be an option. I have to tweak around it. Yeah, Jay made that. The sub-hype thing. Oh, Twitch points. Yeah, that's different. Yeah, that's different. And I still have the GPS from the DAF XF Vividic. Haven't removed it yet. Just too lazy to change anything. Anyone want anything for takeout? Drive through with a truck. That can work. Alright, let's go and look for a job. Summer begins June 20th officially. Nice. So it still is spring, huh? Brussels. Let's go for the farthest one. Going to Ukraine. That might be good enough. It's going a different route. Yeah, let's go there. And what I want to try actually is maybe there are like, let's see that. I want to maybe try and stay away from the highways this time, stick more to the country roads. I've gotten a couple of comments requesting for more of those. So let's go to the pickup point, and then once we pick up the job, let's see if we can maybe reroute a little. Change the GPS mode. 12 hours expiry. It's good. Hey Zoc, welcome to the stream. Hey Sonoma, welcome back. How have you been? More snow running, tipping over. Raining, causing thunderstorms. Rainy season thingy soon. Ah, I see what you mean, Jay. Yeah, for us, it should be rainy season. Although in Singapore, I can never tell the difference. In the Philippines, it's more apparent. This like hot season and rainy season is very obvious. In Singapore, it's just always like summer the entire year. With like rain on predetermined timings. I think I have... Oh yeah, right. Let me go back to the mechanic a bit, guys. Let's just go around here a bit because I wanted to ask something. Maybe you can guide me better. I have been reading up, well, watching YouTube videos on the more technical aspects of engines, how they work, transmissions and everything. What did we hit there? And I am actually starting to lag already, but that might just be in this area. We'll see. You like to see the side roads too? Good, let's try it later. Living by the equator problems, exactly. Looks like there are some problems with the stuff. Yikes. Hopefully we won't have to go back to Schumi's because I really like the tandem setup. We'll just have to live with those bumps, I guess. So, one thing I wanted to consult you guys on, the transmission specifically. You guys have been teaching me about the differential ratio. Lower number means higher differential, like this one, 2.73. That's better for highways generally. But there's also the gear ratio now, and I understand that now. The gear ratio is the how many revolutions in the engine translate to how many revolutions in the drive shaft or something like that. So both the gear ratios and the differential ratio have a factor, and I guess it's a matter of mixing the two, because like this one, it says last gear oh, you can't see it, can you? Dang it. I'll hide it again, one sec. For those who are more familiar with the technical aspects, you can guide me here. So what I'm looking for specifically is better highway fuel economy, so that Scotsman can be proud of me. So I'm looking for the last gear ratio that's very low here in number, because that means here it's like, I guess that would mean it's like an overdrive, because the engine shaft, or how do you call it, actually spins slower than the drive shaft. So that means less power. Yes, that is an overdrive. Okay, perfect. But then that is coupled with a differential ratio, which is the ratio between the drive shaft and the actual wheels, if that's how I understand it. So that also plays a factor. So I guess it's a mix of both the last gear ratio and the differential ratio to determine how good it is for the highway. And that seems like a very low differential, so it seems like seems better for heavy hauls. So I guess we would need to find as low as a number in both areas. But this one doesn't have an overdrive. Differential ratio is low, well, high, because that's a low number. But it doesn't have an overdrive, it's 1:1. And sorry if it's getting a bit too technical, but all for the fuel economy. So if you had a choice, which would you choose here? This first one with the 1.0 last year ratio, 2.73 differential ratio, or this one with the overdrive but differential ratio being a bit lower? Okay, at least I'm on the right track. Hey Freddy, welcome back, man. Sorry, my face is hidden at the moment. We are trying to study some stats. But maybe that's for the best. Tipped over another load. Yikes. Congrats, Sonoma. You are playing by the game's rules at least. Yeah, exactly, HUD, right? Technically, it should be rainier, more rainy. Can never tell, it's mostly the same. Look at the normal cargoes on top, shows you the boost. Also, that actually has an effect. I don't normally trust that bar there, because if you look at Allison, oh, it's actually better. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe that is the best. Last gear ratio and then differential. Okay. Let's stick with that one then. Thank you. And those are the missing textures I'm pointing out. The red ones on the curtain, on the whatever that is. Some missing textures in this black part here. I guess that's the intake, I guess, maybe? Is that the air intake? But it doesn't have a painted option. And I've been studying about the 2-stroke, 4-stroke engines again. And how the exhaust system works, how the turbo charger works. It's all such amazing concepts. And if you drill down, or if you start with the basics, it's not too overwhelming, so even I can understand it. It's cool. Right, stick with that. Absolutely love the interior sounds here. Let's just open the windows a tiny bit. And I have to change the shifter layout as well to make it 12 speed. Let's just go with ZF, that's the one I'm familiar with. Oh yeah, you're right, tire diameter also plays a part. Dang it. I saw a chart that is like the best fuel economy depending on the tire diameter and the differential ratio. But it was too much for me by then. Drive through? Oh, yeah. So, looks like the truck is not the best in terms of stability. Looks like we will be encountering a couple of bumps on the road. Some imagined bumps. Thunderstorms are like one of the most impressive in the world. Oh. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it really baffles me, the weather here in Singapore. It's like even the weather is organized. Like there is a time when the rain is like scheduled. Like 2:30 in the afternoon, it rains. Every day for a week. Yikes. Look at that. So much damage just by driving. Is this advisable for a long haul? Might not survive that. Hey, drive safely. Thanks for joining the stream, man. How's it going? Smaller tires are equivalent to a lower gear ratio. And when you say lower gear ratio, is that a higher number? Still confuses me. Have to load all the concepts each time in my head. Hey Darren, welcome back, man. How's it going? I've never been to India either. I've heard it can be quite varied depending on the region. So, like saying, like generalizing something about India is not very accurate. So different from the central part. Lower gear ratio is higher number. Ah, I see. It is confusing. Goodness. You took a low deck so you keep hitting the ground. Well, if a low deck is configured properly, that shouldn't be happening, right? I mean, with Schumi's low deck, well, with Sogard 3's low deck, it wasn't happening to me. Don't have weather forecast in Singapore because it's pretty predictable. Exactly. You know how Google gives you those notifications for the weather? I had to turn it off because it's just like 31, 32, 31, 32 every single time. Oh yeah. Ow. Okay, I don't think this is sustainable, guys. New gravel sounds released. I am worried as well. I think we'll have to remove this. So I think what we can do... Let me see. Please visit the service center soon. ETS2 length is not the priority. That's why, I mean, that's why most European trucks are cab overs, because they have limitations on the length. So making a truck as long as possible is definitely not the thing that manufacturers are aiming for. It's the opposite. So I don't think you'll find very long ones. Let's save this. But I think we'll have to change this, guys. Sorry. I do have the other truck still here, but it's not in a very good shape. You cross from French into Dutch into French every few minutes. Do the signs reflect that? That's nice. Yeah, so the truck is not at its best status right now. It's a bit out there, I guess. This is Schumi's, but since we don't have Schumi's enabled yet, we'll have to reactivate that a bit. One sec, but give me a second, we'll get there. Yeah, exactly. Philippines is also very strange, but and the food is very diverse as well. There are some regions which can handle like spicy food very well. One region in particular, but in general, when you say Filipino food, you don't really think of that. Spicy Filipino food, you don't normally attribute those two things together. Signs show you which province you've crossed into. Ah, yeah, great. Like that pop-up thing. It's cool. So we'll have to remove these guys, and we'll have to bring back Schumi's MP4 here. Brussels is its own region which is bilingual. We spent only one day, I think, in Brussels when we passed through here. This is what I was talking about last week when we went to Europe the first time and we had this kind of sampler. You're spending only days per country. Definitely not enough to enjoy the place, but it's a good, like, very rough idea, at least. So here I'm getting MP4 by Schumi and Sogard 3's low deck variant. So we're still going with the low deck, but now I'm more confident that this will work. So hopefully it does. Let's see. What your money looks like. My real money? Hopefully not that. Germany is such a small country, but the differences in mentality are huge. Is that by region? I guess that makes sense because Germany is also a federal, federal system, right? With different states, different way of thinking, I guess, different laws. Ah, yes, the pop-up thing. I really like that. Real money? Ah, you mean the bill? I don't have it with me. I hardly use paper money nowadays, especially now with the pandemic. Even before the pandemic hit, I've mostly been using online transactions or paperless stuff. There we go. And the truck is full again. Let's drive with this instead. Sorry for the delay, guys. Okay. Let's go and find a job in Brussels. And I will teleport there. Finland. That one is going to the Middle East. That one is going to Russia. St. Petersburg. Any place you are particularly interested in. I think the closest one to our current route is this one. To Russia. 25 tons. Empty pallets from Vestas to that one. Volvo or Benz, your choice of trucks. Perfect. You liked it before. Which one? The tandem? Yeah, I also like that one. Alright, OM, have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, Gaina. Made it just in time. We're starting just now. Finland sounds nice. I'm also kind of liking that for a change. Rovaniemi. But maybe let's take the country roads for a different environment. Okay, let's go with that. The incomplete truck. More aerodynamic. Yeah, I guess the air would literally just pass right through, huh? Oh, ER means engineer. Nice. So that's the job. But I do want to stop by the mechanic first again, make sure that we're okay, because I do see some red lines on the truck. Some damage, I think, was incurred. Let's start here in McDonald's. More cooling to the engine too, yeah. Natural air intake. Let's get a more powerful engine, maybe a 476. Oh, that reset a bit of the parts. That's fine, we'll change it later. That looks better. We have an overdrive there. That one looks good. That's what I like. Not very fond of the wood parts. Well, yeah, I like that better. Here we can go for the blue one as well, I guess. Just to color it differently. That looks good. Does it? Yeah, kinda does. I'm okay with that. The trailer will have to change the color as well, but that's fine. We can manage that. I wonder how it would work, huh? If you drove with those aerodynamic parts. Let's get that white finish in there. Okay, looks good. Ooh, we have our doggy. Nice. Make payments. Cards? Yes. Usually cards. And I rarely use cash anymore. Cards are just much more convenient. Don't need to bother with like looking for the right change and stuff. That looks good. I can live with that. Electric blue, kinda-ish. Perfect. All right. Roa. Is that a new nickname? Can't play ETS2 because your G29 is broken. Oh man, that sucks. Oh, and we have to change. One sec. Forgot something. So when you have a low deck, you have to also choose the right bumper and stuff. Yeah, I didn't... First time I heard that engineer is ER. I think more often I hear like ENGR. Not that one. Truck. Leak 3000 series specs. I haven't yet. I've seen the article but I haven't clicked it yet. Now room with 3080 and 3090. Yikes. Paint facelift. Well, we can go with that. But there should be like a... where is it? A low deck variant of the bumper. Yeah, this one. The LD. So if we disable everything and just keep the low deck in there, should show us the dots where the low deck variants are. Do we need a spoiled, erased Spoiler here? Not really. Yikes. Taking my sweet time here, huh? That looks good. That's the low deck variant. This one though, that shouldn't be there. Like that lip. Maybe I should change engine again. Because I remember if I chose a different engine that looked a bit different. Maybe not. Okay, fine. Let's go with that then. Alright, I think that's good enough. I hope I didn't miss anything. We can always pass by a mechanic again later. Beautiful. That gear shifting sound is really weird, huh? That's part of EVR's package. It's like someone burping. But I guess that's realistic, otherwise why would he record it that way? Yeah. Not everyone understands that abbreviation, I guess. Maybe let's stick to burping. Where's the job? Where's the job I chose? Is it gone? Can you finally drive after more than 30 minutes? I think it's gone. Nah, it should be there. Yeah, there we go. Rovaniemi. It has been a while since we've driven there. Yeah, is anyone familiar with how an Actros actually sounds like? Does it really have these weird... Wow, look at that guy. Look at him go. Just completely ignore me. Living life on the edge. Entering the highway, we'll be able to test how fuel economic this is. EVR sounds is like probably the only sound right now for me which I prefer, where I prefer it fully windows closed. It just feels so much more realistic for me. I really like appreciating those interior sounds he has. Because when you open the windows, they get drowned out a bit by the exterior sounds. What availability do you expect for the 3080 after launch? The Actros's indigestion. Looks like Brussels is pretty busy, huh? With all these trucks. Welcome to Flanders. Is that the place? Isn't there like a cartoons before, Dog of Flanders? Oh, that is beautiful. Look at this. Wow. It's a bit laggy, but I mean, it's worth it. Let's take a shot here. And it's a bit weird taking a shot, first shot off the stream, not focusing on the truck, but more of it in the background and focusing on the city up ahead. Looks so good. Everybody wants to get that card. Well, not me. Well, I want, yes, but I realistically probably wouldn't, because I can imagine only how expensive that will be. That will be more for like the Alexes of the world. It's the Dutch-speaking region of Belgium. Ah, I see. You must have entered the Brussels capital region. Cool. Looks like it. It was supposed to be cheaper than the 2080 Ti. Well, it could be, but I guess it will still be super expensive compared to the other cards. So yeah, but I'll definitely look forward to that. I'll see. At this point, everything is speculation, so as exciting as it is, I don't usually look at the articles because it will just make me hungrier, you know. It will just frustrate me more that I can't get my hands on it yet. Hey, thanks for following. Welcome to the channel. 3090 around 2000. Yikes. Buy a 75 card. Yeah. 75 sounds good to me. No, I'm really looking forward to buying a new graphics card so I can just max out the settings. Don't have to tweak so much, and I can finally get my frames higher than 60. So right now I'm locking it to 60. Ideally, I would like to be driving at 120 frames, because my monitor can handle it, just that my video card at the moment cannot. The police cars. Oh, how come? What do they have right here, and what should they be? Hey, bot! Glad you made it, man. How have you been? Where have you been spending your time on? Ah, I see. So the cars, what's written in them, the police, should be also be dependent on which region it is. That determines the language it should be written in. Makes sense. Good attention to detail. Oh my goodness, this blue and white combo, I really love it. Probably not for everyone, but as a blue and white lover, perfect colors for me. Also, this aerodynamic trailer is really something else, huh? Can't even see the tires. Goodness. Looks like it's floating or hovering. Guess that's the effect that they want to bring, and I guess this is more aerodynamic because it just makes the air really pass through instead of going inside those like little openings when you have the tires showing. Scaling trucks and trailers, nice. Enjoying the trip so far? Hey, Ike. Welcome back, man. From Ohio. Nice. 3090. Jace 2 Cents has a video on it. I might just watch it. I think I want to build the hype as well. I want to learn more, even if it just teases me more. So at this point, do they have a speculated release date? Definitely this year, right? But any specific season? Craft Echo Dealer, just for you, Scotsman. Just for you. Let's go and check the small things here, the small roads. Looks like I have my browser not working again. Let's just get rid of that. Gameplay. So if you want to focus more on the smaller roads, if you're not familiar with this, the navigation mode is by default in best. You can go and pick small roads. It's not perfect, I think, but it should lead you to more country roads, sometimes more roundabout than the best, like fastest going. Like look at that, it just makes you like sometimes go around. Oh, look at that, very different routing now. Actually wants me to go through the UK. Might not work for this trip. I think it's best if we just stick to best for now. So this should, yeah, this one is more I would say understandable. We can pass by some other roads I haven't been to here before as well. Let's pass through those areas, discover some of them. You know what? Not even needed. You can just pass through this area, literally. Just for a different feel. Still a highway, but just a different route. It looks good. Still enjoying Train Sim World? Yes! Bit by bit. Not been splurging on it so far so much, one trip at a time, but enjoying the chill vibes. I do wish for more interactiveness though. Right now it's very like almost no traffic at all. So just green light all the way until the destination. I want more activity in there. Photo. You have to take photos while we're in Belgium, while we're crossing these beautiful junctions. And here we have finally a shot of the truck. 3090 won't give you much of a performance boost. Ooh, how come? You maxing out on 144 frames already or something? There we go. And one more a bit zoomed out. That's great to hear. Getting used to the skins and stuff. I think they did a very good job at the new mod studio, right? It's much more understandable now. No problem, D. Enjoy. Just keep us in the background. More than happy with that. Have to look very well on the signs, because Brussels is quite confusing. Almost missed my turn there. Look at this junction, guys. Look at the GPS. Yikes. Let's have a look at the fuel economy. 35.2. Not very good, is it? I guess later, once we get to the 80-kilometer roads, it will get better. Yeah, it would be nice to see comparisons, 2000 versus 3000 series. Watching right now. I'll watch after the stream. Some games give you 1000 FPS already. What, like Counter-Strike? That I can also get 1000 FPS in the main menu. before anything is rendered. Oh, that is beautiful. Wow, you really know the different regions here, huh? Nice. TSS more traffic. Yeah, I just might. It's the stuttering is kind of eking me out at the moment, but I guess once I get used to it. He's brake checking me. Yes, he was. AI has that weird behavior whenever there's like a random event on the side, they really slow down. So I guess I go here and move to the left. I hope I took the right turn. Yeah, the junctions in Belgium is... Oh! Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here. The junctions. Thank goodness we weren't driving World of Trucks contract. We blame that all on LED. He came in and the chaos ensued. Cheating. Nope, nothing happened. Found the bug. Ah, I see. Good catch. This guy won't let me in. Come on. Thank you. You like to study regions of other countries. Makes sense. Because your own does not have enough space. Sorry about that, guys. But nothing happened. Just a little bump in the road. Welcome back, Led. It is on my SSD already. It is stuttering quite a lot. Maybe I have to tweak the settings more. My goodness, the junctions here, huh? I think they're super confusing, second only to the junctions in Spain. I think the ones in Spain are still more confusing than this. But this is a very close second. I love driving through the highways here in Belgium though. Okay, we blame bot now. I found someone to blame. Yeah, we should stay in the middle. Antwerp. Ooh, my friend lives in Antwerp. Never been though. Slow down here. The bends are quite dangerous though, huh, for this speed. Not very safe. I think I missed a few messages. Sorry guys. Because I'm missing the context on the grammar police now. Travel restriction, ETS road sign. Is that from a mod or really the default SCS? Interesting that they missed that. At bends you go at 55 max, 55 kilometers per hour. Well, that seems terribly slow, especially in highways. Because some highways are actually very mild, like in France. The junctions are very, how do you say, Like in France, I can stay 90. No problem. Still right. Yeah, you can stick here. 35.4, not the best fuel economy. Hopefully that gets better later. No mods. Oh, interesting. Hey Jess, welcome. Province of the Netherlands. Have we switched country? Oh yeah, we have, huh? So this is actually 80 now. So hopefully we get better fuel economy here. Let me just coast here until we bleed off the speed. I love those signs. I'll take a photo here, guys, at the peak of that bridge. Or, yeah, bridge. Trailer center of gravity. Well, I don't know. I can avoid not slowing down in the France roads. But in the bends here, not. So that for me entails a sharper bend. Yeah, have to get used to that stuttering. And then it will be fine. And then I will enjoy the additional traffic. But I guess in Train Sim World there should also be an option with more traffic. Maybe I should just pick one of the different schedules, like the rush hour. Oh, that's lovely. John Ruder released the trailer upgrades. I saw that, yeah. I haven't bought it yet though. Maybe it's time to dig in, huh? Get into it. Really like them too. The Great Dane trailer. The Bart version. So John Ruda has the one which is like combined, right? Like how much is it? $20 for 3 trailers? And then Bart has the more specialized one with like, I don't know, $20 or $15 for 1 trailer. That way you can still correct yourself upright. That's very true. Unfortunately, with my slow reflexes, almost always never happens. Move here. It's a pack for John Luda's trailers. 18 each. There you go. Yeah, maybe if I go to payware trailers, I start with John Luda's first. I have an ATS video coming out later where I drive in Urique in Chihuahua. The one recommended by Alex. It's very exciting drive. It's silent trucking though, but some people like that better. But it is quite framey. And initially I was planning to drive it with Freightliner Classic XL by John Ruda. But it was too framey. Like the combination of Chihuahua and the Classic XL was very laggy. So I had to go back to Overfloater's K100. And that made it more manageable, but still quite a bit laggy in some places. So I think at the end of the day, the Chihuahua map needs to be optimized better. Which makes sense since it's only in beta 1. So quite a lot of work still has to go in there. Highly detailed. The impact. Yeah, graphics are beautiful. Driving in country roads has its appeal, but I've always been more of a highway fan. Mainly because we don't have highways like this back at home. When I drive in real life, I don't get to drive through these very advanced highways, so to speak. Eureka! 70. It's a race. Planes racing each other. Is this the famous, what do you call the airport in Amsterdam? Schiphol Airport? 747. Beautiful. How are roads like? Filled with cars. We do have highways in there, but very straightforward. The newer ones are better. Like they're more like European, like off ramps. The structure is more similar to this, but much more basic. Like if you're going to the provinces outside the city, then if you go to the north, you start encountering these newer highways which look much better. Otherwise, it's really just straight roads with multiple lanes, 4 or 5 lanes. And the junctions are basically I think mostly T junctions. You're passing through a city? Not really. Just passing through a very old prefab here. Prefer when I talk. Thank you. Yeah. Some people like it the opposite. I just got a comment thanking me for one of my silent trucking videos because they say that they hate it when people speak in these videos. So I guess if you're okay to watch me on the stream, you're okay to watch me on YouTube with the voice. But some people like it just the engine. And personally, the silent trucking is easier to record in terms of aligning my schedule with Mrs. Clumsy. So even if she has a call, I can record. Because otherwise we would need to align our schedules so that there won't be like background noise on each one. Yeah, the window animations aren't there yet. Looking forward to that one. And hopefully more optimizations, but I'm not sure if he's planning on that. Because I guess he started off with a very old, like, during the time when optimizations aren't so much of a thing yet. And I'm not sure if he's ever planning on that, because I think he has like a 3D modeler, right? He buys the 3D model, but it's not him actually who's doing the 3D models. So I guess he doesn't have that much freedom on the optimization part, unless his modeler takes care of it for him. Thanks, D. Appreciate that. Personally, I like those ones as well. They take more effort, as I mentioned, because I have to align schedule and more effort to speak and drive at the same time. But I enjoy those more when I get to manage them, schedule them. Oh wow, that's wrong gear, definitely. Plan for any trips? We were planning to go to Australia this year. That's definitely not going to happen anymore. We did book a flight going back to the Philippines this December. We got it for cheap, but I'm not sure how things will look like come December. Hopefully much better than now. But aside from that, it's majority, or how do you say, not really majority, but a big chunk of our travel fund went to buying a Switch instead. We are traveling in Animal Crossing land. Yeah. Better roads, hopefully. I think now the thrust is to like develop the other places, other regions in the Philippines. Because before it's always been Manila, like just the capital. So, and as a result, all the people are coming from the different regions and going to Manila, and so it's overcrowded, it's traffic, because all of the job opportunities are only in Manila. So I think now they're starting to realize that, and they're starting to develop outside so that the people are more spaced out, and less traffic, more productivity, and more balanced development overall. Hopefully vaccine by then. I have my doubts, but I'm hoping at least the situation is manageable already. Filipino, very clear. Yeah, we have a quite strong accent, I think, but not that strong to become harder to understand. Maybe just enough to like distinguish that a Filipino is speaking. I'm getting a lot of comments recently that Filipino. Are you a Filipino? Are you Filipino? You have that accent. Yes. Wrong routing. One sec, guys. Just remove that. Swallow. Why is that making me go around? There you go. And then we can stop there, probably, so we can get some better views. Actually, no, it's quite nice still, huh? Like sunset feels. Not yet. I wanted to go really specifically to Melbourne because I've heard very good things about it. Most of our friends here in Singapore before, they moved already, either to New Zealand, but mostly to Australia, and mostly to Melbourne. And they've said very good things about it. Food is good, culture is nice, very nice place to start a family. So we wanted to go to like scout the place and see if it's something we like as well. But yeah, I have to hold off on that. Hey Juke, welcome back. Miyachi. I just might. Thanks. You went to Melbourne too? Ooh, nice. What age were you when you did that? Alright, Cold. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out, man. Sorry if I missed you. Yeah, New Zealand is COVID-free now. That's amazing. No more active cases. I think they really managed that well. And also, I think the geography and the density of population has a big effect. And sorry if this seems very, how do you say? I'm not sure if people will take offense at this, especially the Kiwis. But when I hear New Zealand, I think more of cows than people. Like, I think they have more cows than they have people, but that's just me, my ignorant. Because I've never been there. So I'm thinking more like green, open areas with lots of cows and minimal people in there. Not sure how true that is. More sheep. Hey Slider, sorry I missed you. How are you? Glad you made it to the stream. Ooh, echoey engine sound. Yeah, I guess we can sleep here. The visuals are getting a bit muted because of the lighting. 10 or 11, yeah, you wouldn't remember much. You got family in Australia. Nice. How long is the trip from the US to Australia? I guess depends where in US you are, but I would guess more than 12 hours. New Zealand has fewer people than Singapore and much bigger area, so density is much lower. I guess that also helps, but that's not to take anything away from the great management that they did in handling the pandemic. But I guess that is an advantage. Alright, drive safely. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out, man. Enjoy. Catch you soon. 20 hours direct flight. My goodness. Squeeze in here. Thank you. Stopping in Dubai. Ah, that's interesting. So you traveled to the east instead of to the west. Yeah, that can be quite lengthy. Because I guess it depends if you're in the west or east coast. Its land is the size of the UK and fewer people than Singapore. So maybe the more cows and more sheep is not that inaccurate. Made 2 stops. Oh no, they have a sale? No. But that's not on Steam. Or is that are those like Steam keys? Dubai, then Malaysia. Remember what airline you used? Engine died. Exactly. Use small roads. Or are they charging you by the mile? I'll explain the roundabout route. No, but I think maybe that's very practical if you're coming from the east somewhat. East of the US at least. Uber 747. The flight from Malaysia to Australia was AirAsia. Ah, okay, yeah, AirAsia. It's like the biggest. Is it biggest airline in Malaysia? I think. They will give you a Steam key. Ah, I see. Okay, cool. Any recommended routes? How about that Long Island thing? Is that nice in Train Sim World? It is a budget airline, isn't it? Yeah, so you can't really expect much from it. It's practical, but not really good for the long flights, I guess. Yeah, low-cost carrier, exactly. We usually take that when... Let me see. I think we took that couple of times when we go back to the Philippines. So like Singapore to the Philippines, Singapore to Manila. There is a direct route, of course, but it's expensive, especially during Christmas season. So during those times, sometimes, I think 2 years now, what we've been doing is we've been going Singapore to Malaysia and then Malaysia to Manila. And I think that Malaysia to Manila, that KL to Manila leg, we take AirAsia. And even though it's longer route, it's actually cheaper. Cheaper by around 200, 300 bucks. Emirates is amazing. I think Emirates is one of my favorite ones. Large leg room, good food, very courteous staff. Yeah, I think Emirates is one of my favorite ones. You try to take car as much as possible. Ooh. I guess it would take long though, wouldn't it? Like how many? 6 hours? From, for example, Singapore to KL? Long Island Railroad is quite nice. Mostly commuter route, so frequent stops here and there. I might just get it. Yeah, if you were to pick one DLC in Train Sim World, which one would be your favorite overall? Might be hard to answer, but might have something. Yeah, Emirates is nice. I do like Malaysia Airlines. I think I'm trying to remember if I rode one before. I think they're okay. They just have a bad reputation because of the incident that happened. But what's good about that is they had to slash their prices. So they're very affordable even if they're like the national carrier, even if they're not a low-cost carrier. But yeah, a lot of people have negative feelings towards that airline. Germany, there we go. Autobahn time. Lower Saxony. Is that a state in Germany? I guess. Yeah, legroom. Legroom is very comfortable in Emirates. You hired a driver once that didn't go slower than 130 kilometers. Wow, 4 hours. Cool. How much is it? Like, because the flights from Singapore to KL are very affordable if you take one of the budget airlines. How is it a car in terms of price? Ah, you traveled before the incident happened. I see. Yeah. After the incident, people tried to stay away from them as much as possible, so they had to cut their prices. And yeah, even us, we tried to stay away just to be on the safe side. Because I think the problem was it was not just an accident. Accidents can happen, unfortunately. But I think it's how the accident was managed, like the lack of transparency, the processes, the checks, the safety behind was not very good. So they got a very bad name after that. I'm not sure if it's back already, but I think the US had to remove Malaysia in its, I can't remember what they call it. I think they have this like approved list of airports or something. And they removed Malaysia from it because of the lack of processes. Not sure if I read that right, but somewhere along those lines. 30-minute bus to Johor Bahru and take a flight from there to KL. Oh. If you're from the west, that probably makes sense, huh? I'm living in the east though, so might as well just go to the airport in the first place, Changi Airport. German state, okay, thank you. Where's Saxony? Going to the Philippines in a few months. Nice. KLM. It's a very good airline, right? Dutch airline. Transporting animals. Picking up 4 puppies just outside Cavite to bring home. Wow, that's cool. How does it work? I've never brought an animal with me in a flight. Do they get to like sit with you in the plane? Or I guess they have like a special animal holding space. That's like, you would have to like check them in? That's an interesting process. East Coast Way is the most recent UK route. Modern route mix of commuter and freight. Aha. Mostly freight. Nice. Okay, so either East Coast Way or Peace Valley and Northern Trans. I don't know what word that is. Okay, I'll have a look. Can you help link that in TrainSim channel, the website, just so I don't forget? 300. Yeah, if you have family, it's shared because airline tickets are per person. Makes sense. Yeah, if you live in the western side, going to the airport is huge time already. Didn't actually realize that. Because I've always lived in the east. There are ferries leaving to Malaysia. The one going to Indonesia I'm familiar with, but Malaysia I didn't know they also went there. I think we've taken some of those ferries going to Batam and Bintan. Cage kind of thingy. Ah. If they're under 25 centimeters, have to fit under seat. Ah, so you can take them with you in the plane if they're small enough. Nice. That's more comforting. Because I would, if I care about some animals I'm taking with me, I would like to see them in our way. I would be quite worried if they had to sit in a hold somewhere and I don't know how they're doing. $65% sold. Thank you. They're transporting them in approved cage. Cargo room 1. Cool. Stay safe, man. Hope it goes well. Weather is quite nice for German standards. How is the weather normally like? Is it more like UK weather? Always cloudy? Let's take a photo here. Yeah, no plans on taking animals with me anytime soon. Ah, I see. KLM is known for handling animals well. That's good. Are you interested in sharing a bit more backstory behind that animal transport that you're doing? Feel free if you are. It sounds like an interesting situation. Where is home, by the way? From Philippines to where are you taking them? Take a photo of this one. USD, that's okay. Thanks. I can use PayPal. My PayPal account, I mostly have USD. Norwegian. Ah, I see. A little bit better than UK. Not that bad. Like this bend, I think this bend is like the perfect angle. Not that sharp, so you can keep to 80 kilometers per hour mostly. Which makes sense. So you don't want to lose momentum when you're in the autobahn. Bremen, new state, I love it. When you switch states, you get that pop-up. Perfect for guys like me who are not familiar with the area. Norway to Amsterdam first, and then from Amsterdam to Manila, maybe. 775 USD for 4 dogs. Pricey, huh? You can buy a complete PC with that. I'm sure it's worth it though. From Norway to Philippines, you go Oslo, Thailand, Manila. Ah, nice. Hopefully, situation would be much better by then. Lower Saxony again. Huh. Looks like we just crossed Bremen a bit. Yes, I agree with that. Very good English. Very easy to understand for me too. Not sure if I can place the Norwegian accent though. Yeah, I can't even place when you speak. What's the language called? Norwegian also? Yeah, I don't think I will recognize the words or the sound. Yeah, I tend to not go into the particular so much, depending on what is more accessible to my brain at that moment. No need for 100% accuracy, right? Yeah, same here. Norwegian and Swedish. I mean, I wouldn't even have an idea if they're speaking either. But I guess that's amounting to exposure. Haven't really worked with a lot of people. Actually, I don't think I ever have worked with anyone from Sweden or Norway. And I've never been there either, so I don't know how they sound like. I could probably explain it. Haven't watched shows either, so no exposure at all. Very strong Dutch accent. Oh, that's fine. This is the problem though with traffic density. Looks very realistic, roads are filled, but roads are filled. So sometimes you have a truck in front of you for the entire trip, the same truck. Hindi. What is the national language in India? Is there just one? Oh yeah. This is also one of the side effects. You tend to encounter more the crappy AI logic of merging in. And you have to help them out a bit. Really 21st century. I hope that's in a good way. What do you mean? 29 official languages. Wow. So are you required to know each one? Like, because I think I mentioned it before. Here in the Philippines, we have different languages as well. And we normally communicate with each other via English. How about in India? Do you have like something like all Indians know this language? English is common also, so sometimes you tend to speak to other Indians in English as well. Like that's your common language. Belgian license plate, wow. Good eyes. Maybe came from the same place as we did. Yeah, because for me it sounds strange. We are in Hamburg. It sounds strange how I can speak to my fellow countrymen using only a foreign language. that concept sounds so strange to me, but it's the reality. Hamburg is a city-state like Bremen. Ah. Yeah, I was wondering about that because I remember Hamburg is a city, but it's also a state. Because it popped up. Speak to many in English if they're in offices in big places. Hindi itself can have different dialects. Wow. Yeah, so the Indians here in Singapore, I can never tell, of course, what they are, which language they're speaking. I just know that's probably Indian. That's the extent I can tell. Berlin. Both have long-lasting roots in trade, hence their independence. Ah, I see. Punjabi and Tamil. Are those part of the, how do you call it, official languages? Tamil is an official language in Singapore. Mostly speak Tamil, I see. You can understand all Danish and Swedish. But if you go to Vik in Sogn, here in Norway, you don't understand a thing. Had to buy your salmon fishing license while speaking English with the old woman that told them. Interesting. How much English has spread, huh? Malaysia as well. I see. Let me through, please. Thank you. That van, I don't see it that often. I'm wondering if that came from Traffic Maniac's traffic pack or something. Nice, yeah, I can imagine that. Can you tell where someone from India is from just by the way they look or the way they dress? Do you have like, I don't know, I guess not, huh? So in the Philippines, for example, I'm trying to imagine. We probably look all alike, even for a local. Even like for me, you just can distinguish when they start speaking. But if you only look at them, just look the same. So I think I remember that I asked that question as well to my German colleague. Like, is it possible to distinguish a European's nationality just by the way they look? And he says it's very hard. Usually it's when they speak that you know. Berlin, Brandenburg is a state since 1995. Ah, I see. So you're from Germany, Zach, right? So it was a holiday yesterday there. We're taking a bridge day today as well. Most of my colleagues were off. Many of them were from Germany and Poland. Alright, Freddy. 3:39, yikes. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out and thanks for the nice stories. Enjoy and have a safe trip. Catch you soon. Malaysia has Nepali to KL Central. He was so happy. That's nice. I can imagine. Yeah. Probably misses his language so much. Finally able to use it again with someone. Sleeping a little late. I was hoping for better fuel economy in this truck, 35.2. I was getting much better in the Volvo. Not sure if that was because of better tuned transmission for highways. Maybe the default offerings of transmissions here don't have that. Where are we going? Oh, Ferry Ride, nice. .40 a.m. Goodness, that's late. So we are going to Sweden, I guess. Oh, this is interesting. How does this work? You have rails here. And that connects all the way to the ferry. I guess they just like align them manually, or do they like install them separately after the ferry has docked or something? Interesting. Works for me. Luxembourgish. Are there different dialects of German? I thought there was only one. Well, in Germany itself at least. So where are we going? It's a very short ferry ride. Looks like this is also offset a little. Rodbe Haven. Probably butchered that. Oh, there's only one place to go. Go. Good. Let's get the speed here. There you go. I think the fuel economy will be fixed by now. You come from NRW. Hochdeutsch. German without dialect. Ah, there are many German dialects across Germany itself. Okay, I'm familiar with how different German is in Switzerland, for example, and in maybe Belgium. Didn't know inside Germany there are many different dialects as well. North Rhine-Westphalia still doesn't ring a bell. Clearly, I don't know a lot of stuff in Germany. Need to study up more. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it, guys. Feel free to join us in chat. Share your nationalities and the different things in your country. Wow, never ends. Guten Tag. Only phrase I know. Only like 60k people. What is more predominant? French, I guess. Actually, I have a Belgian colleague. I'm not sure where she is exactly, but she has a very strong like French accent. So I guess she is normally French speaking, but she also knows German. Wow, those are a lot of cars. Alright, D. Have a good day. Have a nice weekend and catch you next time. Hopefully I have a chance to go there in real life in the near future. Trying to hear if there's like wind turbine sounds. I think there are like wind slicing sounds like that, something. Ooh, raid incoming. Thank you for the raid. Trap the snake. Thanks, appreciate it. Welcome everybody. Attack. Thanks guys. Appreciate you dropping by. I feel bad for the gang now. Here they are, the group from Snake, all organized and stuff. And on the other side, the Clumsy bunch, just scattering all over the place. We can do this, guys. Doing good, man, doing good. Cannot wait for the weekend, even though weekends are hardly recognizable these days. Very small distinction between normal days normally now. Rip. Exactly. What say you guys? Shall we defend the honor of our channel? I can't do any more speak than that. Thanks, Trep. Appreciate, man. Nice to meet you. Have a good one. And have a nice weekend. I know, right, Alex? My thoughts as well. What is this? Is that a different region? Do we get a pop-up? Oh, no pop-up. Unfortunate. Not even sure which country we're at now. What say you in your defense? There are some people from Europe. Not a lot though, given how late it is. I think we have one? Two? We are in Denmark, thank you. 3 a.m. Only 3 a.m. Oh my goodness, I would be snoring by then. Ah, yes, Denmark indeed. We are going to Rovaniemi. We've got to be up at 8. Yikes. Good luck. Oh yeah, that is Denmark. I can only tell because of the red and white colored chevrons kind of thing. Yes. You're going to Sweden. It's interesting. We took a ferry from Germany. Ah, yeah, from Germany to Denmark. That's why it was such a short ferry ride. Hey, Clutch. Thanks for joining the stream. How are you? Interesting exchange here. To grab some popcorn. Do you guys know if ProMods did a lot of changes in Denmark? I remember in a recent patch, I think Mandalsoft did a few changes in the signs, but as part of SES. Not ProMods. Can't remember. I guess there must be a couple of changes and improvements. Yeah, same here. More Singaporean and Filipino viewers, but I guess trucking is not that famous in our world. How about your friends, hon? Do they also like ETS2? Usually working at this time. But no, not even in the YouTube channel. I have more YouTube viewers in Singapore when I have like videos like Bus Simulator. But Truck Simulator, not really. I guess it's because of the common notion that trucks are just, well, not really that likable. At least in the Asian world, or at least in the areas I'm more exposed to. Alright, official master, have a good one. Thank you for dropping by. Hey, Hades. Welcome back. How have you been? Been trucking? We have school next week. Then home-based classes again. After that, it's school all the way. Would have reached phase 2 by then. Yeah. Well, this is why when I first saw the game, Euro Truck Simulator 2, I thought it was one of those, how do you say, you know those games which are meant as a prank? I thought it was that level, you know, how clueless I was that trucking was a thing in European countries. That it's something that some people really like. That they're actually very likable. Ooh, that's too shiny. No, that's actually just white. Do we have a mod conflict somewhere, or should that be really white? I thought it was just glaring. Most European countries are not actually getting homeschooled. Oh. So it's, how do you say, up to the parent how the studies are going. Yeah, it does seem like 1.38 is close, doesn't it? Well, at least that because they showed like how they will be adding special transport routes in 138. So it does seem like it's closer than what we are expecting. It's like what Alex said during the stream 2 days ago. But no real indication seems to point that way though. Exactly, Jay, exactly. Yeah. When I tell my friends back in the Philippines I'm into truck simulators, like, truck? Why? It's like the first reaction. Why would you want to drive a truck? Any frame drops at the beginning when you want to stream ETS? What kind of frame drops? Thought the trucking games are silly. Glad you never played them, huh? Just being at the top of the VT log rankings out of no apparent reason. No worries, Ed. No worries, man. Enjoy school and catch you when I catch you. Will they release Iberia soon? Then I hope so, but they haven't really showed that a lot, have they? They're showing more of Idaho. They released an article yesterday, right, in the blog, showing more of Boise. Yes, Idaho looks like it's the next thing that will come out. Not boring, me. Yeah, I can imagine. Some people are more interested in buses here because we have some very nice buses here in Singapore. So some bus fans, more bus fans definitely than truck fans. Idaho, the Gem State. Is that what it's called? No specific date. Arc is free on Epic. Oh my goodness, I used to be a hardcore Arc fan. The channel itself was centered around Arc. I guess you guys weren't subscribed then, because why would you? Unless you were into Arc as well. Blog about state capital usually means about 2 weeks. Ooh, that's nice pattern there. That's good. So somewhere around end of June. It can be pretty addictive. I was so into it before, and I learned about dinosaurs because of that game. You have some family down in Idaho. Nice. Have you ever been? Yeah, they did say 2 ATS DLCs this year and one for ETS2. No exact date though, and we're already in the halfway mark of the year, so they would have to release 2 ATS DLCs in closer succession. Conan centered. Oh my goodness, it's pretty close to Ark though. Just remove the dinosaurs and replace them with barbarians, but pretty similar concepts. Yeah, I remember my Arc days. They were very fundamental for me. Learned a lot in creating videos for my Arc videos. How to cut, edit, basic stuff, but really helped me a lot. Never been, but at least you will be once we get into it in ATS. Conan! Jurassic Park was a fun game. Which one? The park building game? Oh, that was so nice. more for creatives, but I appreciated checking it out a bit. It's quite copy-paste. Yeah, these are the old prefabs they have, these ones. Very small, very common looking, very basic. I hope they change that and upgrade that. And then Texas, I'm not sure. I think they're already working on Texas. But yeah, I think it will still take a while, how large it is. So I'm sure, based on the stuff that's going out, Idaho is the closest release. What I'm not sure is if Colorado or Iberia will be coming out first. Jurassic Park Evolution. Oh yeah, very nicely done there. Remember those moments when the dinosaur would get out? Oh my goodness, and would eat some of the park visitors. No. Had a policy of not working on two adjoining states at the same time. How about Idaho and Colorado? Well, I guess Nevada is in between them, so they can work with that. Makes sense. I don't think 138 is coming out soon. Maybe a few months from now, but not anytime soon. I guess, my guess, Idaho would come out in maybe 2 weeks, as Alex is saying, maybe around that point. But I don't think 138 is close there. I imagine they would go public beta first, and public beta would last like a month before it releases. Wyoming is in between Idaho and Colorado. I see. Yeah, exactly. It's not confirmed, but it's I guess it's a fair guess. 2 weeks. Yeah, ATS, that's true. They test stuff in ATS first, because guys from ETS complain louder. No, I don't know. I don't know the real reason, but that's the assumption. Yeah, they do stuff in ATS. They release stuff in ATS earlier usually. Like the FMOD sounds, right? They released for ATS, the public beta, and then they refined it a bit, and then they released it for ETS2. Redhead and Snapchat. That works. Stuff always come out in ATS. Yeah. What do you mean Scania is the region? Oh, here? We passed through it? Ah! Didn't know that, didn't notice. Good catch. I see, didn't know that. That's what Scania... Ah, okay. Didn't connect that at all. Me too. TIL. But Scania didn't come from Scania, did it? That's true. By association. We have Scandinavian family. Yeah, it comes from Södertälje, yeah? Right? The Scania HQ. Is that in the Scania region? Or province? Or however you call it? I guess it would make sense. I'm coping. Yeah, that's what I know also. That's where the HQ is. In Södertälje, or however you pronounce it. Yes, people now. What time is it anyway? Oh yeah, it's almost 11 p.m. Almost forgot, as we go farther north, daytime extends as this is summer. The J is like an is that an I or an L? That's an L. Södertälje. Talje? Okay. In most European languages, J is like a Y. That's true. Södertälje. I see. Yeah, that's why I found it weird before. When some people would laugh, I thought it was a typo initially when I first saw it. But they would say that their ha 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 would be the J, like ja ja ja. And it seemed to me before like, wow, that's a huge typo. Like very consistent with the J's there. And then eventually I discovered, okay. That's how their ha ha ha's are, depending on the country. I remember this, but I don't remember what it signifies. Some farming thing, I guess? I can't remember. That statue. Spanish, there you go. It looked so weird to me the first time I saw it. It looked like a typo. You know when you're laughing so hard and you're just typing and using those two keys and you didn't realize you were pressing J instead of H. Indonesians say, what is that? Why 5 and why V? So many different ways of laughing. Because it looks like the katakana character like that. And that is read as what? Ha? I assume. I say 5 because 5 is pronounced like ha. Wow. So cool. And how about Indonesians? Why WK? That is pronounced as ha. Interesting. How about Chinese? How do they laugh on text? No wonder they came up with emojis. Emojis are universal. We use LOL as well. Well, not so much really. Filipinos are very emotional normally, so we tend to really say we stick to ha ha ha, but it's like the longer the ha 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 is, the more extreme the laugh. Like if it's really like ROFL ruffle levels, then that ha 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 would be like one sentence long. We're very expressive. No, we use H, we don't use J. There are even some memes about it, like the levels of laughing, with how many H's there are, and if you're really laughing out loud, literally, the H's would be like typos would happen. H's would be like repeated and stuff like that. Yeah, something like that. Yes, I am Filipino. Just the way you laugh. Waka waka. I don't laugh like that, but I guess if they do, then okay. That sounds like a Shakira song to me. Waka waka. Singaporeans don't text in Chinese, but for Chinese, they use... Wow. Seems like a huge effort just to laugh, huh? So many character strokes. Emojis are from Japan, that's why the faces are all Asian. Ah. Yes, you got it, Hades. Exactly, that's the one. That's the one that comes to mind. Hey, Sparksol. Speaking of emojis, there you go. What's a fuzzy bear? Man. Wow. Same word can be used, can be translated to so many different things, huh? Amazing how it works. The dark side of the moon. Because of the lighting. Character from the Muppets, then Alex should know that guy pretty well. Alex and Jack. No, don't sound Singaporean at all. I have zero Singlish in my body. Still trying to learn how it all works, but I don't have much exposure, so it's a very slow process for me. Fuzzy Bear is the natural enemy of Waldorf and Statler. Nemesis. Shall we call you Fuzzy Bear now, Scotsman? Adding one more nickname to the list. Tequila drink for power. Sun never sets. Hey, Fuzzy Bear. That's it. That's the new nickname right there. Thanks, Ed. I wish the government would feel the same. Not at the moment, though. At least not the last time we tried. We'll try again soon, probably. Would be very nice. would offer a bit more stability if he could become a permanent resident. Yeah, they do. And with this situation now, I'm not sure if they would be more or less strict. I imagine more, but I don't really know. Hey Jakey, welcome. How are you doing? So any new mods you guys are trying out in either ETS2 or ATS? TAF F241 is one, updated recently by XBS. ATS, well, it's payware, but John Roo does trailers. Are there things you've heard of in the forums or in the mod sites? Usually Indonesians phonetics, like German or Dutch. For the ngakak. Ah, I see. I see. That makes more sense. I thought they really laughed like waka 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 waka. That sounds more like an Animal Crossing character. Have you guys heard how Animal Crossing characters speak? Oh, it's insane. It distorts all the words. Yeah, I can imagine those policies protect the locals, so they're very strict about it. Of course, it's not beneficial for me, but I guess I get where they're coming from. Why is it 70 here? Yeah, in Singapore it's not a single language. Good to hear, Jakey. I am good, hanging in there. Still in unofficial lockdown. You can technically go out of the house, but things are very restricted at the moment. Restaurants are still closed, gyms are still closed, so not so much use going outside still. So I have been literally inside the house for a couple of weeks now, and it's starting to take its toll. Yeah, they never officially announce it, but that's like, I think everyone knows it, the ratio that they try to preserve. Yes, exactly. Mrs. Clumsy has a friend coming from Malaysia, and she is Chinese Malaysian. Is that the right term? Yeah, Chinese heritage from Malaysia. She applied for PR. Didn't really make an effort of it. I think just simple doing paperwork, nothing more, nothing less. In one go, boom, approved. No fuss, no fuss. Yeah, languages are an amazing thing. They make it hard for speaking to different countries, but they make it very interesting. Same in Malaysia and Thailand too. Ah, I see. Yeah. Oh, dang it, still 70 here. I guess because of city limits or something. Man, it's beautiful here though. Goodness, I love these bridges. Anyone know if this is ProMods area? It does seem like it, doesn't it? Very detailed. He got approved but he rejected it. Wow. Why? So he applied, he got approved, and then he rejected it? Why did he apply in the first place? Or was he offered? 95%, wow. It is pretty wide. Ah. It does seem like a ProMods area. He was offered. Ah, I see, I see. I wouldn't know why you wouldn't like it if you were offered. But I guess it does have its downsides, like your salary, your take-home pay, initially at least, would be lessened because a part of it will now be saved for you. But it's actually an amazing thing because your employer would be required to match it now. So basically, at the end of the day, you would get free. You would get bonus money. It's nice how we have different nationalities here. Different cultures are mixing. It's like the UN. What time is it in Argentina? I assume it's closer to US timing, right? Around that region in terms of time zone. So around, I don't know, 10 p.m., 9 p.m. Scandinavia doesn't... Ooh, train! That's for you, Scotsman. There we go, Canadian right there. Have their own highway, don't have their own highway number system. Oh, don't they? What do they call their highways then? One sec, let's have a look. If it loads, they do have a number, but maybe I understand it wrong. It's a very small country. Like they have their own small roads numbering system, but the big highways only use European route numbers. Oh. Train. Got it. There we go. Numbers are European routes that are shared with other countries. Ah, I see. I didn't actually notice that there are European routes. So like for example this E4. So you mean that is shared here when you go to Denmark? Like the E47, like the E? Are those the European routes? Well, I guess Germany and Poland don't have that. They have their own numbering system. Interesting. E37 is the longest. Wrong person to ask. E are the European highways, I see. Wow, it actually took this long for it to rain. I'm surprised. Normally, every time I drive, it rains within the first 30 minutes. The rainmaker. In the literal sense. European route numbers are all over Europe, but they aren't displayed. I see. Ah. So these European routes are like shared. Like for example, in Germany, you would have the Autobahn number, the blue one, but some of those roads are actually European routes as well, I imagine. So that road would have like, I don't know, 2 names. Just like in US, where you have like some shared roads. It's an interstate in how do you say, US route or something. Or a US route and a state route, I don't know. What is EEA? This is also confusing. There's EU, EEA, and then there's the Schengen territories, Schengen areas, and that's more important for me because that's the one that is responsible or this what counts, where you can visit when you get the visa. Schengen visa. So normally I don't mind if it's EU or not. I mind more if it's Schengen or not. From a personal perspective. Concurrencies. Ah, I see. European Economic Area. International E-Road Network. They are, but they don't use the euro. Yeah, that's so confusing, isn't it? So many different rules and policies. So many exceptions. One sec. So it's EEA, not EAA. Okay, EEA. And what's the difference between EEA and EU? Norwegians are swimming in oil. When I travel, good question. I think I use both. Like I prepare cash, but I try to use my card. And then if cards are allowed, then I use that as much as possible for the points, even though I get kind of ripped off by the currency conversion and stuff. But it's just more hassle-free. I'm not such a fan of cash, so I try to not use it as much as possible. But then depending on the country, sometimes you have to rely on cash. I remember before, so in my company, we use American Express as our corporate credit card. So when you have business travel, you have to have that card because you charge everything there. Your hotel, your flights, your expenses. And if you're in the US, it's no problem. You can use Amex almost anywhere. But if you're in Europe, it would be so rare to find an establishment that accepts Amex. It's like the only places that would accept Amex are the multinational hotel franchises, the hotel chains. But if you're in like a restaurant even or a grocery, even if they do accept cards, usually it's Visa and MasterCard. So for those cases, I would either need to use my personal card or just pay in cash. Doesn't really make sense to me why they use Amex when it's mostly only widely usable in the US. and the company is everywhere. But I guess it's a matter of price. Maybe the Amex corporate card was so affordable in terms of these expenses that the company would incur. Maybe they had some great deals. Because I know a lot of companies use Amex. A lot of US based companies, I guess. Switzerland is not part of the EU, that's for sure. But it is part of the Schengen territory. Because we were able to go there. If you use your personal card, you get to claim the expense. Yes. All the expenses should be covered by the company. Like, as much as possible, I won't try to spend my own money. Because they're asking me to travel, they pay for it. I think it's a fair trade. It's just more of a hassle because normally if you charge it using the corporate card, they have systems in place. These are very nice systems that were recently implemented that automate the process. Because before, the expense filing system, you would have to get your receipts and file them after your travel and list them down, log them in. Now they are automated mostly. If you use your corporate card, it gets tracked, it gets logged, and you just have to fill out some of the specialized fields, but most of the hassle is taken off. So it encourages you to use the card as much as possible. And you can also take pictures of the receipts using your mobile now. They have a mobile app that allows that to synchronize and stuff. Very convenient nowadays. Alright, Scotsman. Or should I say Fuzzy Bear? Thanks. Have a good one. Oh, that's Karma. Karma Chameleon. Right out of the bat. Have a great weekend and looking forward to those DLCs. Those DLC recommendations. And finally the rain stopped. Yeah, Schengen. It's like territory. I guess some countries align if they're going to be part of it or not. And that's the visa. So the Schengen visa would only be valid on those areas. And for a guy like me with a Philippine passport, you would have to apply for a Schengen visa every time you go to Europe. Or well, those territories at least. But at least I don't have to apply to each country. Like during our first trip to Europe where we went to different countries, those were all Schengen countries, part of the Schengen area, territory. So we only had to request for one visa and we could go to those different countries already. But that is different from the EU. Like it's not 1:1. Like all the EU countries are part of the Schengen territory, not really. So it's a separate distinction, makes it even more complicated. But at least there is that. Otherwise, you would have to request for a visa for each country you're visiting. It's such a hassle. Have to go to the embassy, file out paperwork. So, yeah, it's a constant frustration for me. Having a Philippine passport is a very big disadvantage if you're traveling. Right, yes, I read that. Schengen is the name of the small town where the agreement was signed. Interesting how they named it after that. Well, at least I don't have black rain particles anymore. Not sure how I fixed that. Yeah, exactly. It's nice we can at least travel to different countries. Although personally, as I mentioned last stream, I really prefer spending my maybe 1 or 2 weeks in just one country to really immerse myself in the place. When we go back to Europe, we would like to either maybe spend more time in Switzerland or maybe spend all our time in Italy or in the Netherlands, but not jumping from one country to another, rather jumping from one city to another but staying in the same country. Much more, how do you say, much more relaxed pace. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's take a photo here. Photo from the back would be nice. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Rishi. Or should I call you Dave? Doing good, man. Cannot wait for the weekend. That thing that they supposedly call the weekend. It's hardly recognizable these days, but I'm not complaining. Beautiful. 10 different currencies around Europe in the 90s. Wow. Those were the days, huh? Now Euros is mostly used. Although in Poland still not. Poland is part of the EU, but they still use the how you call it? Zloty. Hey CJ. Welcome to the stream. How are you? Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Goodness. Oh, this is sightseeing. How are you? Are you also a trucking fan? Oop. So what are you guys playing these days? Or what have you been spending your time on? I saw a meme, and it's very true, like the types of people during the lockdown. Like some people start developing, like become master bakers. Like they start baking and posting all these yummy stuff in social media. Some people become fitness buffs and record themselves working out and posting them in social media. Some people become gamers. I guess I'm part of that group. Get more into different games, and or some get into Netflix and stuff. So how about you guys? Some people try to work more, or I don't know. In which category do you belong to? What do you find yourself doing more during these times? Why is this guy so slow? Feels like the weekend every day. Ah, I see. I've not been to work. Yeah, I was telling the guys that the weekends are harder to distinguish nowadays. Hope you're doing okay, man. At least you get some downtime. Maybe time to maybe refresh, or I don't know. Get some rest and recover. And hopefully you find some work when you want to. And get back into it. You like buses more? Ah, nice. Do you like trucking too? Which bus simulator is your favorite, if you have tried any? Playing Minecraft while listening to the past streams. Nice. Is ray tracing a thing now in Minecraft? I think that update released, right? But you probably need an RTX for it. I think engine just died. Let go of the clutch. Bubble tea, wow. I heard the tapioca pearls are so hard to do on your own. Like, you would have to roll them one by one manually. Similar to like rolling your... maybe not continue that sentence. You know what I mean? If you have a lot of real life experience rolling your... you know? then rolling the pearls might not be such a problem. Turned out really good. Nice. Bus Sim 18. Ah, I see. Bus Sim 18 I think is one of the good ones out there. And it's very accessible, as you mentioned, because it's available in console. I think it's the most polished one. Definitely holds a lot of appeal. For me, the best bus simulators is still, in terms of simulation, is still OMSI. But it's so unstable and old and outdated that I don't want to play it anymore. I just feel frustrated when I play it, but in terms of simulation aspects, the buses, the details, the sounds, the immersion, OMSI still has it. But as an overall game, I think Bus Simulator 18 is at the top of the game. Now we'll forever associate that with a particular app. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast. One of the people I was listening to, she made her own tapioca pearls as well, and that was her story. That's why it stuck with me. So now it sticks with you too. Literally, maybe also. Sticky rolling. Thanks for the follow, CJ. Appreciate it. Welcome to the community. It's going to be more longer holidays for you because you are working in the travel agency. Ah, I see. Yeah. My goodness. Tourism is a very hard industry to be in at the moment, huh? Can you imagine the hesitation of people to travel? In us ourselves, we like to travel every now and then, but these days are not very travel friendly. Each country has their own rules. Each country has their own risks. Even going outside your house has risks. So people are very reserved about it. Well, hopefully you find something that you enjoy and that makes it sustainable. How are you spending your time these days? I guess there is something good that comes out of that. At least you get some downtime. Like a forced vacation. You stream Bus Sim 18 but you don't get views. I see. Well, maybe eventually you will. Hope you're enjoying. It's an amazing journey. So where are we now? I think we're still in Europe. We're still in Sweden, I think. Probably near the northern part of Sweden already. You have stopped. No problem. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. It can get tiring at times. Ooh, 70 here. What have you been playing recently, Jay? Have you had time to play? Or more of the secret stuff, maybe? Thanks. Oh my goodness. Just fluctuating between 70 and 80. What a pain. Wrong turn, we are now in Timbuktu. Yikes. Oh, no, definitely not in that part that cooks a lot. We do cook every now and then, but the most we can do is like cook one meal and order the other. Because we don't eat breakfast. We're more in the intermittent fasting group. So I just have coffee in the morning. And then we either like cook something simple or make a salad. And then order the other meal. But I cannot make myself cook 2 meals in one day. There's too much work with the washing and everything. On one side it's good because I get to listen to more podcasts, but it just takes up too much of the time. And there are only 2 of us in the house, so cooking, it's not that worth it, I think. RDR2 online in Division 2. Nice. Scotland. Yes. In the previous stream, around, I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, we went to Scotland. Oi! What the heck was that? What the heck did I hit? We came from Iceland and then we rode a ferry to the Faroe Islands and then to northern Scotland, made our way south past London and then crossed over to France, I think, then Belgium. And in this stream, we came from Belgium, made our way northwest to Holland, Germany, Denmark, and now Sweden, eventually crossing to Finland. You started your YouTube channel where you translate Hindi and Bangla song with English lyrics. Oh, nice. Cool. How are you liking your YouTube journey? You're learning a lot, aren't you? It's an amazing experience. You learn so much. Get to be an all-in-one guy. Get to be the actor, the editor, the director, the marketing guy, the customer service representative. So much exposure to the different kinds of jobs. Oh, you're from Glasgow, yeah. I'll show you. So the default map is not very good in the UK, but ProMods, if you have ProMods enabled, that's a map mod. You have all these. And don't tell me, well, tell me until where Scotland is. I guess that starts in, oh, don't rate me for this. Liverpool or Manchester, one of those. Or, no. I don't know. Edinburgh? Somewhere here. Yeah, I wish they changed the color also for Scotland. But that's what we have. And we took that route before from Iceland, south here, crossing there. And now from here, the northeast. That way. Wow, we're actually pretty close. 488 kilometers in 10 minutes? Maybe we can extend just a little. Yeah, your accent is amazing. Carlisle and Newcastle are still England. Edinburgh, there we go. Edinburgh is in Scotland. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the map. I need to learn this. So Edinburgh is the start of Scotland. This one. How about Dumfries and Carlisle? I guess those are still England. Yeah. Is there a flag? No, I don't see it. There's Glasgow. And the hard part about this game is there is the base game, and then it has like DLCs that extend the map. And the one I have, why my map looks so large, is that contains the base plus all the DLCs plus the map mods. So many additions for you to get to the Glasgow phase. Wow, so many jets there. Hey, thanks for following. Feel free to join us in chat. Appreciate it. Dumfries is in Scotland too. Nice. I see. But the base game itself, if you go and wait for a Steam sale, it can go as low as $5. I'm not sure how much that is in pounds. You use pounds, right? I think. Yeah, the default. There you go. So the default I think is around 15 USD, $15. But if you wait for a sale, it goes down to up to 5. And then even the map DLCs go on sale. So I highly recommend waiting for a Steam sale and buying all of them in one go. And then explore that, and yeah, it's amazing. Hey Kiran, thank you for joining and thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Your PC is being built. Wow, nice. When will it be finished? It's a very good price. Yeah. For the amount of hours people can play this. I've seen people play this for thousands of hours, literally. Myself, I have spent, based on Steam, I have driven for around 1,200, 1,300 hours already. Only for that price. Well, the game is, let's say, $5. Each map DLC is around 10 to 15 maybe USD. So maybe it will cost like a AAA game, like around 60 USD, more or less, probably a bit more. But you get thousands of hours out from it. It's worth it. There you go. Thanks a lot, Alex. Four to 5 days. Nice. So excited for you. You mind sharing the specs with us? How is your PC, new PC coming along, by the way, Alex? Have you started assembling it? I guess you will wait for the parts to arrive before you start any assembling. Namely the GTX 3090, RTX 3090. Is it still RTX or have they not decided on that yet? You just don't know the number. This looks like a train station in Transport Fever. I like it. You have pretty much everything with the GPU now. Oh my goodness. Must be killing you. The weight must be killing. $2070 Super. Wow. Yes. You are right in Rohan's alley. Rohan, you have 2070 Super, right? You will belong to the 75 club soon enough. Happy for you, Kiran. You have done some test bends on the tubing. Oh, how are you finding it? Are you having difficulty? Or is it more like, I guess you are pretty used to it because of all the work you do with cars? For me, as a guy who's not really familiar with hardware and how do you say, all that hardware stuff, I had so much difficulty installing my PC making my own PC, installing the parts. Lots of fumbling around. It doesn't help if you're clumsy by nature. So I don't think me and water cooling all those tubes would work very well. Hey, thanks for the follow and welcome to the channel. If you're in the mood, you can join us in chat. Only tricky part was finding the correct tubing to use to keep from collapsing or distorting it. Ah, I see. So your setup is more like hardcore JS2 Sense type, right? That actual water cooling and not just all-in-one kind of deal. Are you planning on like installing or having a color as well? Maybe red and black? Or I don't know, red most probably. Custom loop, there you go, that's what you call it. Man, I am excited to see how it looks like when you build it. Blue and white. You're from the UK. You can join our VTC, more than welcome to. You can also join the Discord server. We don't have any events, or at least not yet, but we do keep track of the deliveries in a separate channel in the Discord. So you can see a log of all the people doing jobs. More than welcome to join. Exclamation point VTC, exclamation point Discord. Gets you there. You're stuck. Oh, he's not. Squeezed in. What's this thing called? Circle K? I know a lot of that is in Indonesia as well. Not sure which country that originated from. More 75 power. Hey Bolt, thanks for joining. I am doing good. For a minute there, I thought you were bot. The name structure is very similar. How are you doing? Turn off track IR a bit so I can drink. Actually, I can turn off track IR during highways like this, but it's a bit of a shame because I can't look around. Custom loop, that is so cool. It feels like a science experiment. That's the one thing I am also a bit worried about. When the NVIDIA 3 series does come out, more than likely I might need to upgrade more than just the video card. I might also need to upgrade my power supply and maybe also casing, I don't know. So I'm looking forward to, well, I am going to look what the power requirements are of the new GPUs. But they say they are more power efficient, right? So hopefully, if I get lucky, I won't need to update anything else. Tequila! I finished my coffee already, so now it's tequila. Water. Conduct studies on drunk drive. Oh yeah, that's a good experiment, huh? It is very accurate in that sense, I guess. I can do some homemade experiments also. Wait till you see the JS2 Sense video. 240 watts. What the heck? How many watts does the normal video card take nowadays? Like a 2070 Super. I'll have to look at how much the 1070 is taking up. But I guess that's significantly less. I run a GTX 1070. Not the newest graphics card in the bunch, but works pretty well so far. This one, I would rate it maybe 9 out of 10. It's a very relaxing game, perfect for chilling. No pressure, no stress, perfect for winding down. It is lacking in some aspects. Like the level of simulation is not that high. But the physics is very good considering. And it does have mod support, which is one of the most important things. So any imperfection you find, anything that you don't really like that much, you can almost always find a mod for it. Like recently, the game had a major sound update, but many of the sounds became worse than before. So people were really looking at sound mods to improve the sound of the trucks. Like what I'm using now, this is not the default sound. $2070 uses around 215 watts. Oh, not that high, huh? Not that big a change. Nice. Yeah. Voltage, watts, amperes. I always forget what they're for. There's an analogy for that, but I always have to like watch a video to remind myself. But the watts is the important thing when it comes to power supply. If you guys have quick access to your browsers, can you do a quick search for me and look for the wattage that a 1070 eats up? Can you drive to Glasgow? Not today, but yes, you could. If you unlock, I think even in the base game it's there. It just doesn't look as good without mods. It looks very basic. Yeah, I think in the... Did we go to Scotland last time, guys? Maybe we just passed through it. You can go and look on YouTube. Clumsy Scotland, maybe. And my previous videos going to Scotland should be there. Should be a good indicator of what you can expect if you get this game for yourself. Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that a random event? I think that's just wonky AI. I don't think that's a random event per se. It's a natural random event maybe. Can you drive to your house? Unfortunately not. It's not that detailed. The scaling is 1:19. 1:15 in the UK, I think. So it's shrinked. So not all the details can be put in. But I guess the major roads, the major landmarks should still be there. 150, thanks Jay. Yikes. I'd have to look for an extra 100 watts. I'd have to look if my power supply has enough space for it. Do you guys know an effective way how to check how much wattage you are eating up? I guess I could. Probably my monitoring tool has that somewhere. Just have to find the actual how do you say, number for it, actual field for it. But then again, that would fluctuate depending on the power that I'm using. See Sonic, here we come. Yeah. That's very true, Hud. That is very true. 21 degrees, I guess, is pretty hot for some people. It just switches from 80 to 70. So weird. Yeah, unfortunately not. You stay in the truck. That's one of the most requested features. Hasn't come in yet though. Well, now you can, but only in the garage. You can walk around your truck when you're in the garage customizing your truck, but not in the actual world outside. I would imagine cold. But maybe this time of the year not as cold anymore, huh? Going to stick to 80 here even though it's 70, the limit. CPU ID, hardware monitor. I do have that CPU ID. Yep, I'm using the steering wheel right now. It is compatible with most of the steering wheels. I also have this track IR thing that tracks my head movement, so I can just move my head and it turns the camera for me. Very organic movement. Very natural. It was hot the previous few days. Like 21 degrees hot. It is pretty cool. The first time I saw Track IR, I think I was watching Squirrel and he was like moving his head and the camera was moving with him. It's like, wow! How do you even make that happen? Apparently it's a thing. 35, now that's hot, okay. Welcome to summer. Unofficial summer. Very, very humid, yikes. So you get the whole spectrum, huh? From cold to hot. Lovely place. Very good exposure. 85. What is that in Celsius? Lots of different weather, yeah. I remember the days when you were telling about the snow. $70 again. $29, nice. Not bad. Love these sounds. Oh yeah, by the way, I've also been watching a bit of I've always wondered what they say about what they mean when they say like straight pipe sounds and stuff. I always thought it had something to do with the actual, like, what do you say, the exhaust, if it's the sticking out the side of the truck or sticking at the back. Not so sure now. I think it has something more to do with how the structure is from the engine to the actual exhaust. It's interesting. So straight pipe is just a literal, not literally straight, but just one pipe from the, how do you say it, the exhaust part of the engine to the actual exhaust. There you go, no mufflers, no, oh, what are those other parts that I'm, cat converters and stuff like that. That's why they're so loud and so echo unfriendly, I guess. Below freezing quite often in the winter. Oh, I remember those days you mentioned. Yikes. Me too. I guess you would need a lot of closet space, huh? For the entire spectrum of clothes you need to wear. Yeah, I'm not sure what difference is with straight pipe and open pipe, but it sounds similar to me based on the description. I have not seen an open pipe like video or article yet. Straight pipe, a lot of explanation, but open pipe, I've mostly only seen it in ETS2. And I think open pipe just means no mufflers, so maybe open pipes are straight pipes, just called differently. Straight pipe and open pipe is the same there. That's what I also understand based on what I read so far. Is this game fun? Depends on what you like for fun, I guess. It is interestingly addictive and relaxing. Like, in the beginning, you would not imagine it like so. Like, what's the point? Why would you need to drive around? But try it and goodness. I think there's a free demo even, or at least there was. In the ETS2 website before, I think that's what I started with. When I was playing ATS and I wanted to try out ETS2, I think I downloaded the demo first from the website. If I remember it correctly. Thermal wear. Don't need a coat till below freezing. Yeah, coats take a huge amount of space. What the heck is that? But I guess you wouldn't normally have just one coat, would you? And each coat would take a huge amount of space. So especially for the ladies, that amounts to a lot of closet space needed. This is similar to the screenshot I shared. Oh, this is Filipino driving right here. Squeezing in where you thought you couldn't fit in. That's Jack. Good. Climb the curb. Can't climb the curb because I'm low deck. And now I'm stuck. Dang it. Get myself out. Maybe just nudge this guy a little. Rip. Actually didn't hit the trailer. Nice. Moment you enter Finland, you get greeted by this. Welcome to, what is the local name for Finland? Suomi or something? Cold is just a feeling. Yeah, anything below 20. Oh, time to wear the jacket. Finally, getting a chance for it. I mean, even in a normal air-conditioned room, I can, like, I would need a jacket. Cold is only a suggestion. My summer car land. Oh yeah, speaking of my summer car, you guys heard any news about that? It's been a while since I've seen the game. I wonder if they've had so many updates since then. Maybe this time I can have a chance at building my own engine. Now that I understand a bit more the basics behind what happens and what each part is for. Oh, interesting. Swedish is an official language in Finland too. We had a Finnish guy here. He doesn't join so much anymore. But yeah, Davey was a very active member before. Now he's part of... is he a moderator in ProMods, I think? In the forums and in Discord? He's still active there. But he knows a lot about languages. I think he told me about that before. Yeah, we're really extending. Want to finish this route. It is continually updated. Oh, nice. Good to hear. It's just too trolly. Yeah, I think it's too rage quit material. I wish there was a game like that was more, how do you say, gentle to people's feelings. Because it's so hardcore. Yeah, you thought Conan was rage quit material. Exactly. Would be nice to have like a survival game where you build your own car, which is like my summer car exactly, but not that hardcore. I cannot survive that. And it's not family friendly. Oh, that's very true. Yeah. Imagine if ETS2 was like that, I wouldn't have been playing this game, I think. It will fly on the highway. Yeah. Time's up. Tell me about it. How many kilometers do we have to go, guys? Should we push it now? Thank you. We can do this. Home stretch. I also watched a video on what the turbo means. And maybe you can help me out here a bit, because it's so interesting. I never knew that's how it worked. So I learned how the engine works in general, right? The pistons, the combustion and all that stuff. So it's basically like controlled explosions. But I never knew how a turbo fits in that picture. And now I do. And apparently it's a very simple concept. It's very smart. Like using the own exhaust to spin stuff, get more air in, stuff like that. It's so cool, the concept. But where is that turbo whine coming from then? Is it from the air coming in? The, what do you call it? Going through the intercooler or something like that? That wheezing sound that we call the turbo whine, I guess, is coming from the turbo. But it's so cool. It starts to make sense now. Done by 11:30. Yes, I think so. It works like vroom. Yes, I think that's the one, Alex. Like the whistle. Like you hear when you hear the EVR crash boom sounds, you hear that turbo whine that starts at some points. Yeah, the extra air intake. The video I saw of had two spinning, they say turbines, the exhaust turbine and the compressor turbine, was it? Like the exhaust turbine, that's where the exhaust fumes, the exhaust air from the exhaust would pass through, so it would make the thing spin, and that is connected to the compression turbine, so it would spin as well, and that would suck in air, and that air would be diverted into the engine, back to the engine as additional air. Not sure if there are other types. It's the compressors pulling up and down. Ah, I see. So that's when the exhaust air is going through and starting to spin. Then, so it's not always triggered. I guess it only gets triggered when you have more. What do you say? When the truck is working harder, then it starts to spool, because again, the more exhaust you get, the more that would spin up or spool up. So different materials have different sounds as well. I don't think you would. Well, I guess there would be exhaust, but it would be minimal if you're idle. So I'm not sure if you would get anything out from the turbo. There you go. More exhaust means more intake charge compression, because more exhaust would mean faster spinning of that compressor. And when do you get more exhaust? When you have higher revs? When the engine is working harder? I guess. Because it would only work when the truck is actually working. But they do have the turbo whistle, don't they? So I guess they're able to record it somehow. Maybe they're simulating it. Because I have heard it. Maybe it's just that not just that realistic when it triggers. I don't know. So cool though, finally understanding these things. It happens under the hood in a very basic manner. It's a good start, at least. Like before, I remember playing Gran Turismo, I think. And you would have different types of engines. You have these naturally aspirated ones, which is like, just like the normal one. And you have a turbo. But I never knew what was happening behind the scenes, and now apparently that's what changes. That's the difference. That turbocharger part. I think there was another type in the racing. Can't remember the term. Supercharger? Or I don't know what that is though. I haven't seen that yet. Good. We did it, guys. We did it. 2,673 kilometers finished in the stream. Phew. It's like half the bar right there. You can trigger it when revving the engine. Oh, that's true. Yeah, even at... Right, not at idle, but when you step on the pedal, it should. Turbo will spin even at idle. Just don't get the RPMs from it that you do at higher engine speeds. I see. Supercharger is the part name. I'll have to look at it. I remember there were 3 types in the racing in Gran Turismo. I can't remember the third type. It's the NA, naturally aspirated, the turbo, and then there was one more. Can't recall. Covers many different types. Maybe that was the one. That's the next one I'll study. But it's so nice. These are very short YouTube videos. 3 minutes, 7 minutes. You learn a lot from them, and they explain very well. Engine crankshaft driven. I'll have to look into that. Alright. Well, thanks for the tidbits, guys. Thanks for helping me out to understand stuff. It's so much nicer when you understand. Everything just clicks better. Thank you. Have a nice day, everybody. Have a great weekend. Appreciate your time. See you in 2 weeks, Hud. Enjoy school. Thanks for moderating, guys. Alex, Jay, and Rohan. And thanks for the trivia. Have a good day, everybody. Have a great weekend, and catch you on Discord in the meantime. !Discord. School for HUD. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Congrats, Rohan. Oh, yeah.